I want you to think about the last time a stranger did something on the road that made your blood boil. Maybe they cut you off. Maybe they rode your bumper for a mile. Maybe they laid on the horn for no reason you could see. And I bet your first thought was, not. I wonder if that person is trying to help me? Yeah, mine either. Until the night a complete stranger in a beat up rusty pickup saved my life. And I spent the entire time convinced he was trying to end it. So here's where we are. It is a Wednesday, early evening. That specific time of day when the sun sits right at the horizon and just stabs you directly in the eyes through the windscreen. I am on the motorway, heading home after a shift that had absolutely no business being as long as it was. I am drained. I mean, genuinely, completely running on empty, drained, one hand on the wheel, some podcast playing in the background that I had stopped actually listening to about 20 minutes ago. Just existing. Just pointing the car in the right direction and letting the road carry me home. The motorway is busy but moving. That comfortable kind of driving rhythm where everyone is doing around the same speed and nobody is doing anything stupid. I am in the middle lane, cruise control on, mind about 1,000 miles away. And honestly, that right there is the first mistake. I do not even notice the pickup at first. It is one of those old, battered trucks. The kind that looks like it has survived 3 owners, 2 floods, and a demolition derby. Rust along the wheel arches, a cracked side mirror held together with what I can only assume is hope and electrical tape. It merges in behind me. I clock it in my mirror for maybe half a second and go right back to zoning out. Then the high beams hit. Bright, sudden, filling my entire rearview mirror like a pair of stadium floodlights. I squint, adjust my mirror, assume he just forgot to switch them off. Then they start flashing, rapid, deliberate, over and over. Okay, so this bloke wants to go faster. Fine. Whatever. I indicate, move over to the left lane and let him pass. Except he does not pass. He swerves right into the same lane behind me. And now the horn starts. Not a polite little tap, a full, sustained, leaning on it blast that seems to go on forever. At this point, I am not scared. I am just annoyed. Because we have all met this guy, right? The guy who thinks the motorway was built specifically for him. The guy who is perpetually late and makes it everyone else's problem. I think, okay, relax, mate. I will just let him go around. I move back to the middle lane. He follows. I speed up slightly. He speeds up. And that is the exact moment the annoyance starts curdling into something else. Something that feels a lot more like fear. Because now he is pulling up alongside me. And the window is coming down. And this guy, this big, red-faced, absolutely furious-looking bloke, is screaming something I cannot hear, waving one arm out the window and pointing. Pointing at what? I have no idea. I am not looking at him. I am staring straight ahead, both hands on the wheel, trying to remember how to breathe normally. Every alarm bell in my brain is going off at once. I hit the door lock button, all 4 doors. I roll my window up completely and I put my foot down on the accelerator. He matches my speed. I weave left. He is still there. I drift right, still there. And then he makes his move. He guns the engine, cuts directly in front of me, and hits the brakes. Hard. I slam my own brakes so fast, my whole body jerks forward against the seatbelt. The car shudders. I wrestle it onto the hard shoulder, coming to a stop in a spray of gravel and dust. My hands are shaking. My vision has gone slightly gray at the edges, the way it does when your body cannot decide between fight and flight and just starts doing both at the same time. I am grabbing my phone, fingers fumbling, trying to dial 999. Convinced, 100% convinced, that this man is about to drag me out of my car. I hear his door slam. I hear heavy boots on the tarmac moving fast. I squeeze my eyes shut. And then, nothing. No window knock, no fist on the roof, no screaming, nothing. I open one eye, and I see him. He is not at my window. He is on his knees, on the ground, next to my car, looking underneath it. And then he looks up at me with an expression that is not rage at all. It is pure terror. He screams two words, "Get out." Not aggressively, not threatening, desperately. Get out right now. I do not know why I listen. Some instinct deeper than logic just took over. I push the door open and step out onto the hard shoulder. And that is when I smell it. Burning. Hot and chemical and wrong. I walk around to the front of my car and I see it. Thick black smoke rolling out from underneath the engine block. And underneath that smoke, the unmistakable flicker of orange flame. The bloke is already moving. He sprints back to his pickup, throws open the back, and pulls out a fire extinguisher. He is back in seconds. Down on the ground, blasting white foam underneath my car. Working fast, moving the extinguisher back and forth, suffocating the fire before it finds the fuel line. And then it is out, just like that. He stands up slowly, breathing hard, covered in dust and foam. He looks at me. I look at him. And all I can say is, "How long?" He wipes his face and says, "About 2 miles, mate. I saw the sparks and I had to stop you." 2 miles. He chased me for 2 miles trying to save my life. And for 2 miles, I thought he was the villain. I have thought about that evening a lot since then. How close I came to something I do not even want to name out loud. But mostly, I think about how quickly I decided who that man was. A beat-up truck, a loud horn, an angry face screaming out a window. And I wrote his entire story in about 4 seconds. Threat, danger, enemy. I never once considered that he might be desperately, urgently trying to help me. We are so wired to assume the worst in strangers, especially on the road, especially when they are loud and aggressive and right in our face. But sometimes, the person who looks like your worst enemy is the only reason you make it home. Give people one more second before you decide who they are. Just one more second. It might be the most important second you ever take. If this story hit different, go ahead and hit that like button. It genuinely helps more than you know. Subscribe if you are new here, because every single week I bring you a story from the road that will make you feel something real. And drop a comment below. Has a stranger ever done something that looked threatening but turned out to be an act of kindness? I want to read every single one. Drive safe out there, eyes open, assumptions down. I will see you in the next one.